Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to another stream, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry I'm a little bit late today. I had some shorts to edit, which are live now. You can go watch them if you wish. The links are in my socials, in the stream description. Today I was ranking Capital Cities of Classic WoW. I think it's a pretty good short, you might enjoy it. Today, hopefully, I'm finally gonna get 60 on this freaking rogue, and then we have a lot of AV to do. Like a lot. A ton, actually. Need to get all the honor gear. I think we're talking about 80,000 honor, and I'm at about 10k, give or take. Okay, but first, before we do that, we're gonna quest a little bit. And hopefully everything's gonna go fine with that. Right, we have to turn in the True Master's quest. Alright. Then that's what we gotta do. I doubt I'll get some invites for dungeons and stuff. That's not gonna happen. That ain't happening. Cannot wait to get to Western Plaguelands. Maybe there's gonna be some Gankaronskis we can do on our rogue. But I still have some stuff to do in Burning Steppes. That's where the arrow's sending me. Alright, here we go. What do I have to do here? Turn in the True Masters. Okay, let's turn that thing in then. Hopefully it's another 8 to 9k XP quest turn in. I do have some rested XP as well, which is nice. You love to see it. Put this window down a little bit. Yeah, that's good. So it's a bit in the frame. Right, it's time to turn in.
King's honor, friend. Well met.
7.9k. I think that's acceptable. For sure. For sure. Right, what now? Light the Burning Steppes. Alright.
Hello.
Hello. I need to buy some ingredients later. I have to craft some poisons. But man, playing Rogue yesterday in Ultra Cowell, it was really fun. It was extremely fun. I think I like it more than Warrior. Not a huge fan of Classic Warrior. Not like, it's not my cup of tea, I think. I tried it, but it's not for me. I love this zone. I know not everybody likes it because you get ganked a lot. It's a contested area, but I don't know, man. I like it.
Light be with you. Hi.
We're gonna be flying for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. 7 minutes and 40. So how is your day? Are you guys at work? Last day of the work week. Weekend tomorrow. I expect tomorrow World of Warcraft is gonna be extremely packed. I started on a Monday and it was very packed, but now it's gonna be my first weekend on Classic Anniversary TBC and I'm expecting there to be a ton of people. What is absolutely surreal to me is that on a work week, there's been like 100 plus AV lobbies going on. And yes, I know they're going on because of the Honor event, but still. On retail, there's maybe like 2 AV lobbies in comparison. So now on the weekend, I'm expecting like 150 lobbies of AV, maybe more. That's gonna be crazy, man. I've never seen such activity on retail. In PvP, maybe it's like in the starting hub area, like in Shadowlands it was Oribos. In BFA it was your capital city, depending on what faction you were. But I'm talking about PvP. You don't see that on retail. Yeah, there's not much left until the 5th, until TBC is out. Hopefully I'm gonna finish everything in time. Get level 60, get all the honor gear I can. Hopefully a full set. So I can have a bit easier time. People are telling me I'm not gonna get invited a lot as a rogue in TBC. But they have some honor gear if I can do solid damage at the beginning. For the first few dungeons like Hellfire Ramparts or so on. I should be fine. Rogue in PV is not that difficult to play. I have my exposed armor. It should be okay, honestly. I think I'll do fine on bosses for the most part. Like, yeah, I need glaives from the Black Temple, but so does Fury Warrior and all the other pumpers. You know? So I'm kind of hoping and I guess coping that because not everybody's gonna have the glaives that early. I mean, it's gonna take a while for Black Temple to get out. I'm still gonna be quite competitive. You know? Or at least I hope so. Okay, we are almost there. 4 minutes left. It's a long flight. What classes are you guys rolling for TBC? I'm assuming it's gonna be a lot of shamans maybe because of, well, if you're Alliance because of the Draenei. I've seen a lot of shamans in AV gearing up. I like Wetlands as well. I love the music here. I love the vibe. I like marshes. Not in real life, but in games I think they're really cool. 7-minute flight, bro. And then it says set your Hearthstone to South Shore. So we're gonna do that. And so it begins, bro. So it begins. I desperately need to get 60 because my Shadow Step is on 60. And playing without it in AV it's rough. But I've been getting very lucky on the cheat death procs in AV. People get so upset when I don't die. Here we are. Nice. Alright, let's set our Hearthstone there. And then I think it's time to go to Western Pluglands, if I'm not mistaken.
I supply only the finest goods.
How are we doing on food? Let me check my food. We're good. Let's stack this up a little bit. 30 should be fine, I hope. Should be fine. Yep, a flight to Chillwind Camp. It's time for Western Pluglands, boys.
Well met.
I assume everybody in chat is at work, watching on phone, vertical streams. I'd be very happy YouTube has been providing vertical streams. I had to make it work on my end, but seems to work fine. Get some viewers on verticals is nice. But I also, of course, provide horizontal. If you are watching vertical from YouTube, I'm live on Twitch, Kick, YouTube horizontal as well. All my links are in the stream's description. Like legit all of them. Here we are, landing soon, boys. And there is jobs as well, but for that you have to come on Twitch. I think the jobs are for retail. I need a new lair. My quest guy is not here. Is that again? Let me ask my guild. First, let me leave. Can someone invite me to a different layer? Oh, that's not what I wanted to type. I'm sorry. Let me leave Western Pluglands, otherwise it's not gonna work. Okay, let me leave. Okay, we're good. We're good. My quest giver is not there. Oh, there. Let's see if that worked. Hopefully it did. He's asking me if it worked. I'm gonna check now. I hope it worked. Nope. He's still not here. He's still not here, man. No problem, thank you. Thank you for trying. Well, that's a yikers. Let's try to skip that quest for now, which is gonna hurt. And what else do we have here? Except clear the way. Do we have clear the way somewhere? Okay, let me... Okay, yeah, we can do that then. Greetings.
Need help? Farewell.
There we go. We have our active items, active targets. Let's turn this in.
Greetings.
Pleased to meet you.
Fly to EPL. Okay, let's go to EPL then. Let's do that. I'm so unfortunate. Every time I want to do the Markov the Lightbringer, the Horde has killed that NPC. On every layer. Which is wild. Legit every layer. So you just gotta log in at the correct time of the day for it to be there, basically. And of course me, I'm always unlucky. So he's never there. And that's unfortunate because the quest gives 9k XP, which is a lot. But we can maybe take it later. If he's there, I'll just do the quest myself when I'm like 60, not sorry, 60, 59. Hi Cheese. Welcome. Your favorite Battlefield player also plays WoW? Yeah, and he doesn't play Battlefield anymore. You play WoW as well? Of course, I'm 35. Of course I play WoW. Trying to get this rogue to 60. But the Horde has been killing my NPCs, so I cannot, like, accept quests. Okay, it's gonna be a lot of quests we have to do here. Like termites. There's gonna be also kill ghouls or something. Yeah, I mean, that's fully understandable. Oh, you played way longer than me, man. Like, I started in Legion. There's a whole story why. I can TLDR you. My family, and that means de facto me, we didn't have money for WoW or computers for a long time. And then when I became, when I hit 18, then I bought my own computer. Bought my own WoW copy and everything. But then Cataclysm came out and all my friends quit it. So I was like, I'm not gonna play without them at the time. And then they all came back in Legion. And that's when I started. That's my beginning story. And yeah, Battlefield-wise, I mean, there's no patches on that game. 3.5 months in, nothing's fixed. Not one thing. So, yeah. To my understanding, they released an update yesterday or a couple days ago. And I checked the Steam charts to see if they gained players. They updated the game and lost 10,000 players. It's almost like updating the game now hurts them because people who still have it on their Steam folders get reminded that, oh, I still have this piece of garbage installed because, you know, the update is reminding them, oh, you need to install an update, and they're like, get this thing off my PC, bro. You playing? Oh, absolutely. I believe Classic WoW is the future. Oh, I didn't accept the quest. Fuck, I'm dumb. Let me go back. Retail's dead, bro. And I've rated retail on Mythic, always parsed in the 90s. Got some 99s even on progression. So, you know, in raiding, I guess you could say I'm a pretty solid mechanical player. And it just played out, man. You know, I don't see the reason to raid. I don't see the reason to push keys. It's all the same. Super played out. Here, on the other hand, it's a bit different. It's new for me, you know. I was thinking to myself, Do I play Midnight, where I have one new raid every 6 months, 8 dungeons for the whole expansion, 2 of them being reused? Or do I play something I haven't played before, where I have, I don't know how many raids to do, like 1,000 raids, 1,000 dungeons, plus world PvP? Yeah, I think the choice was clear for me. If you ever have spare time, try Turtle WoW, best classic plus right now. Yeah, I cannot stream it, that's why I didn't try it. I've heard about it, but you know, Blizzard would annihilate me if I was attempting to stream that. And now that I'm free from Battlefield, the Restless Souls, where are they?
Remember.
Let me turn this in first.
Discipline.
Then let's accept the Restless Souls. Because WoW, in my mind, is a very enjoyable stream game. I've been streaming it now for, I think it's my 4th day in a row. Back-to-back 5+ hour streams. I've never done a 5+ hour Battlefield 6 stream. Like, I lasted 90 minutes in that game, and I'm being generous.
Hey there. Safe travel.
Okay, we have all our questions. Let me put this down a little bit. Like that. So I can see something. I skipped that fucking thing. We need to equip that trinket. So let me put this in. What do we remove? We can remove this because I think this still heals me, even if I'm not having it equipped. There we go. Do you only play Turtle, or are you also playing this anniversary servers? Yeah, it's super sweaty, man. Like, I've had easier matches playing professionally in BF3 and BF4. And I'm actually not kidding. Playing versus the best European players, like the 0.1% of the player base, in 8v8 scenarios, in those games were easier for me because there was a skill gap to be used to my advantage to make it easier for me. That's not happening in BF6. Everybody has the same skill gap because there is none. And the time to kill is like, I would say less than a blink of an eye. It's just, no, get me out. And the developers themselves are like, in my opinion, I mean, you can quote me that, I don't care, I'm out of that community. Absolute insufferable cunts. I'm sorry, like, I pardon my French, but all they do is just gaslight their community and try to convince you that they know better, but you don't know better. Clearly. If your game lost 95% of its player base in 2 months, you don't know better. I'm sorry. So what were the Restless Souls quests? Let me just go in this for a sec. Let me check my quest log. Restless Souls. Where was this? The Restless Souls, here. It's a dungeon. There's no way I find the Stratholme dungeon. You only play some Turtle and Roguelite WoW private server. I feel like giving Blizz money for a milk version for non content is stealing from myself. Yeah, I mean, I can understand it. I mean, if you played before, I get this. For me, it's new, so I'm okay with this, you know? I bought the boost even. Because I'm just not experienced enough to get myself to level 60 before the 5th and get 80,000 honor in Alterac Valley. To get ready for TBC. BF6, oh yeah, that shit's gone. Like, they updated their game 3 days ago. I checked Steam charts and they lost 10,000 players from updating the game. Like I said, people just get reminded this garbage is on their Steam. They're like, what is this game? Now you're updating? Like, bro, I'm out of here. They just leave. Like, updating the game for them currently is detrimental. Because you just lose more and more players. People get reminded about the game existing. So they just leave. Shit is too funny, bro. And they absolutely deserve it, in my opinion. Like, the people who tell you that that game is fine and it's gonna recover and it's gonna be a banger are only the people who are super invested into that franchise and those games. People who are lives are like depending on this, their livelihoods, you know? It is absolutely not gonna be a banger, and it's absolutely not fine. They only tell you this so the game doesn't lose even more traction. Because if it tells you it's dead, why would you watch their videos and their streams, right? They cannot make money out of you. So what I have to do here, collect plague termites. Should be able to do this fine. I remember this. I need to click on some stuff here, I think. Open the large termite mounts. Yeah, we just need to find the mounts. Your SSD is 100 gigabyte free. That's beautiful. Yeah, I installed about in... Oh, it's been a while since I played BF6. I would say maybe 2 months. Like, last I played was in November, that's for sure. And that was the last time I played ever. Like, any Battlefield game. Like, I'm out, bro. Okay, hopefully I can find some of those. There's one. Let's go. I don't recall if I'm a rogue, I'm an invis right now. Can I click this invisible or will it be visible? I can just sap this mob, so it's gonna be fine. I think I can sap ghosts. I cannot. Yeah, it's just humanoids, right? Okay, let's see. I'm gonna have to fight. Okay, whatever. Let's just kill it then. We'll take care of it then. There we go. Kinda sucks. Yeah, I was growing steadily, but for about a month now, not a month, sorry, like 3 weeks. I think 2 weeks, I've been doing a lot of shorts on WoW, so Instagram, TikTok, and all the other platforms. Man, I've been doing pretty well. One of my videos nearly got 1 million views, man. I've been growing a lot on those platforms. Cannot wait until I'm able to stream there. And then I'm gonna multi-stream everywhere, and the combined viewership should be like at least 20-30, which is really big for me. So I think it's safe to say there I'm growing a lot. If you check my YouTube Shorts channel, like my link tree should be in the stream description, and you go to my Shorts channel, you can see what views I'm getting there, man. That's more... In fact, in those 2 weeks, I have defeated the overall viewership I've gotten on Battlefield, my Battlefield channel, this one I'm streaming on. In the 10 years I've been doing it. Yeah, like I've struck some gold there. Just doing some funny shorts, edit rankings, you know, just WoW stuff. So it's been big for me. And like I said in my post about moving on from Battlefield, that has even furthermore pushed me away from BF6. Like, just, I get more views on this game. Even on stream, more people show up than when I stream BF6. There was a time I just streamed BF6 to like 0 viewers for hours. Like, which is fine, you know, I'm a small creator. Like, I'm not expecting to have freaking XQC numbers the second I go live. But it's just kind of funny that, you know, I've been doing videos on that game for so long, and the game is so unpopular and so irrelevant that just nobody cares. Like, other than your core audience. So basically, I have 0 reach and I'm just preaching to a choir, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you check any of the big Battlefield creators, they've been on the same audience for the past 10 years. That's not growth, that's stagnation. Like, capitalism don't work that way, brother. You know? I'm not bashing anybody, I don't care about them. I'm just saying, there's been basically 0 growth from my eyes. Okay, we already have 47, so we're close. But this is way easier to do with Rogue than when I was here with Warrior earlier this week. Was absolute nightmare, bro. Cancer. Had to kill like every mob just to approach a mound. Okay, we came from that side. Let's go left. Maybe we find more of them. But you know, it's been kind of funny seeing everybody cope hard on BF6 recently. And I believe you've been around for a while, Hygi's own channel. There has never been a time where I have not been bashing Battlefield 6 extremely. You know, I didn't care what people thought. I knew the game's gonna die if it doesn't get updates in the first 2 weeks. And now, you know, that it died, I'm sad that it died because it killed the franchise. But on the other hand, like the more sadistic side of me is like, I fucking told you so, man. All the shields who have been sucking that game's dick for so long. It's been satisfying to see that downfall, you know what I'm saying? Like from like a personal side. From professional side, it sucks for me as well, of course. From the personal side. It's so funny to see all the rats now dance to the Pied Piper. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely hilarious, bro. Yeah, I've been very critical, but it came from a place of passion, like being critical, disliking something, disagreeing with something. It is a feeling. It's an emotion, which means I care. Now, I don't care, which means I'm apathetic towards the whole thing. So I'm out, bro. You know, I don't give a fuck. Can I sap him? I don't think so. He's an undead. Yeah. That sucks. I could blind him, though, if he attacks me. Does blind put me in combat? Let me try. I need to try this once. If I blind him, do I go in combat? I do. I can just do prep, maybe, and vanish. Yeah. Well, that's a 10-minute cooldown wasted, but whatever. I just wanted to try. And all the other people were telling you, oh, it's like a Giga Cheat game, we're back, we're this, we're that, oh, it's gonna get fixed on launch, it's gonna get fixed on Season 1, Season 5. I said at the beginning, the game, it has potential. When you still see me streaming it, doing content for it, I'm engaged. As soon as you see me stopping doing that, that means I'm out. That's exactly what I did, bro. Okay, we need to turn this in now. Where though? Here. Oh fuck, I didn't see this mob. My map blocked him. I think me going over that step dismounted me. Have to be a bit careful in Classic. You get dismounted walking into like buildings, even if they're empty buildings. But it's just ruins of Eastern Kingdoms, but still, it does dismount you. Honeymoon phase was over for you as soon as you saw the first season content? Yeah. You remember my video from like 4 months ago? Like maybe 2 months before BF6 went out. I had a exact video called Battlefield 6 looks Vorringle rushed. I got flamed so hard by all the shields and all the naysayers. They were like, we're unsubscribing, we're reporting you. They were calling me all types of names and everything else. Absolute retards, man. They don't know what's good for them, you know? They really don't. And it's been about 3.5 months, and nothing has been fixed. Nothing. And it never will be. And when it finally is, like maybe a year from now, a year and a half, who cares? Like, bro, I don't care. Like, you know, I'm out, brother. Buy food if needed. I don't need food. I'm good. Hearthstone to South Shore. Okay, I'm gonna Hearthstone, I guess. Hopefully that's correct. Okay, I blinded him, but what a bitch. He went on me when I was talking to the NPC. I'm dead now. Maybe try. I don't have Shadow Steps uncooked here. He waited until I was talking with the NPC. Yeah, fuck him, you know, they can enjoy their dead game, bro. You know? I don't need it. I'm fine. I don't make money on Battlefield, so don't care. Oh, they don't care at all. I've always said, you know, their main goal always was for BF6, always will be, was to sell the most amount of copies everywhere. That's why they paid millions and millions of dollars to all the other big creators who obviously aren't Battlefield creators to cover the game for the first 1 week. They had exclusive contracts. Those guys knew they're not gonna play BF6. EA knew they're not gonna stay. It was all about just getting maximum sales. Yeah, they were geared. Yeah, that Shaman hit me for like 70% of my health. He also had Wind Fury and everything, you know. So, you know, they can enjoy their dead game. There's a lot of better games to play. You have Classic WoW, you have Arc Raiders, you have Tarkov, if that's your type of drift. You have Arma Reforger. If you're really like Battlefield invested, you have all the Battlefield games that still are running. If you can find a server, right? Like you and me, we don't need BF6 at all. What for? And everybody's trying to take some moral standpoint, saying, "Oh, you know, I was always saying something critical about the game. Oh, yeah, I was always skeptical." Brother, you were never critical if your videos are monetized. If you're monetized, your interests are making money. De facto making money. Your interests for Battlefield 6 being successful is only so you can keep making money about it. You don't care. All this shit made me go back to play autistic map games such as Hearts of Iron 4 and Europa Universal at this point. Yeah, I get it. I mean, Blizzard is also a greedy ass fucking company, yeah? Don't get me wrong. But at least Classic is a good game. And BF6 is not. So it was like a simple decision, you know? Can I eat a heart? I can eat here maybe. Let me see if I can eat here at the back. There's some corpses here. Hopefully there's not a rogue here. I'm gonna pop perception. See? There is. Alright, let's eat here then. Then I'm gonna heart. Hopefully my add-on isn't lying to me because it's gonna be a long flight again. Let's go. I'm at 31%. It's going. Okay, back to chill when we go. I tell me now, skip that if he's not there. That's the guy that everybody's killing on the Horde. It's the NPC. The guy is never there. I check every layer. I asked my guild to invite me to other layers. Little bro is never there. He's permadead. Put this here. He's here. Oh, that's beautiful. I got lucky.
May the light embrace you.
That's really progress. I have to not do this quest fast before this guy dies again. Flares and ghouls. Okay. I got you. Oof, there's a fight happening here? We invite the Shadow Priest. He's not accepting? Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. He's level 60? No, he's 58. Yeah, he's boosted like me. Nice, there's a bunch of mobs here. He's eating, okay. I can kill this myself. Nice. Send out the flare here. Gonna open up on him, I guess. Bro, Shadow Priest hits like a truck with Mind Blast. Holy fuck, dude. 1.2k as a boosted Shadow Priest. Shadow Priest seems cracked in Classic. Holy fuck, bro. I can't click on this guy. Too much nameplates in the way. I sent him an invite. Can't accept him, bro. Yeah, Shadowspec seems like a crazy caster in Classic. You can also heal yourself, right? You can just switch to light and heal if you need. With flash heal. Really fucking cool spec. Then you of course have your fear and MC. It's like really good. Like in comparison, my Abyss only hits for 880. It was 4 combo points Abyss, but still. It's going so fast with him in my group, it's great. So he needs to like drink after every pull though. We're absolutely killing these guys, man. Wonder if Rogue and Shadow Priest like in World PvP is something. I mean, my god, I can just open on them and he just Mind Blasts them for free all the time. This must be fun. Okay, we got the flares. We need some ghoulies. A ghoul summer? It's all flares now. I think the ghouls are here in this graveyard mostly. Oh, that's a goal. One goal and like 4 or 5 flyers. 5 more. 5 only. I'm in combat, man. What the hell? Oh, nice. Thank you. Nice druid. Oh, I think we got some goings to do here. I don't want him stealing my goals, man. Fuck him. Oh, that's a goal. The goals are mine. There we go. You ain't stealing my goals, brother. Four more. That should be 9k XP from the quest. But he has to drink often, that I know this now. I mean, he's drinking at like every second pull. His mana must be criminal. I mean, he's boosted, right? He's 58. Like me. So one thing about casters you gotta pay attention to, right? Especially early, like early level and in classic. Is that Warlock back? He's not. I think he's waiting for us to finish the quest. He's afraid I'm gonna kill him again. That's the goal. Like, look at his damage, man. It's crazy. Crazy fucking class, man. They're not that great in PvP in Classic. SP or Lock? I think like if you gank with Shadow Priest and maybe you have like somebody at the front. Like, I don't know, like maybe a Rogue opening or a Pharaoh or something. You can free cast. Like, dude, look at this. Mind Blast. Shadow Word Pain, that's like... Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but... Like, bro's pumping. Right, we need only 3 more goals. And then I'm gonna rush turn in that quest. There's a goal. Then I'm gonna rush turn that shit in before they kill the freaking the NPC. I hope he saw me. There he is, okay. Got him. That's a Warlock. If he leaves, I'm gonna leave him alone. You leaving? Okay, let him go then. This is our graveyard, okay? It is Western Plaguelands. It's not Durotar Plaguelands. This is in Eastern Kingdom, not the Horde land. One more. There. Oh. Oh, he also found one. Good. I'm gonna go turn that quest immediately, because I know what's gonna happen. That NPC is gonna die. I know how it goes with that freaking NPC. I mean, I'll stay in the party. If he needs to continue, I'll stay with him. But I'm turning this shit in immediately. Because last time I did this quest on my warrior 2 days ago, I waited a day and a half for that guy to respawn on all areas. So I'm just turning this now. And I hope... Like, can I turn it in even? Why can't I turn it in? Mark of the Lightbringer. Like, is it not done maybe, the quest? Oh, I might be dumb. Might be dumb. Give me a moment. I'm dumb. Okay. I'm stupid. There's more to it. The chain. Okay. Talk to Marlene. Maybe that's where the finish is? Fuck. Wait. He fucking put a dot on me. It's a feral, so I can't go stealth. He's blinded though, so I'm good. Still can fucking hot on me. When you come, bro, I'm just gonna drag you to camp and then I'm gonna kill you. He's 56, bro. I'm gonna fucking annihilate you. Just give me a moment. Okay, where's my food, man? There it is. Does no damage. Think I kill this guy, no problem. He failed miserably. I don't even have a PvP trinket yet. Otherwise, I would have just used that. Okay. There he is. Look at this retard. And if I can open on him. What is he doing? Does he have world boss? He's not. Okay. How does he know I'm following him? Okay, if he opens up on this guy, he might. And then I'm gonna open up on his ass. Come on, open up on that fucking pala, bro. Let's go. Open up on him. I can fuck a bit with... Oh, there, he's opening up. I'll get the warlock. Never mind. This warrior is criminally bad. Why can't I sap him? There. Right. It missed. Oh. What? That's fucking bullshit, man. It fucking missed. My chip shot missed. God, I fucking hate the misses in this game, man. I can't go I can't vanish because I have hots on me. Fine, I'll go back to camp. That's just my luck. Of course it fucking misses. I'm dead though, to dots. Yeah. Oh, lucky fucking retard. It missed, bro. He got lucky. He won't get lucky again. Otherwise, I just kill him there. Let me put one poison on my... do I have even? have one more. I have to craft it, but I don't have the materials for it. Yeah, shit happens. I mean, when your chip shot misses against like a HOTS character, you're dead as rogue. Like, I don't care who you are, you're dead. You cannot re-stealth, you cannot vanish, you can't do anything. Like, I could have fight him, but he feared me. I don't have a trinket, so... Can you just apply this, brother? Thank you. Fucking bullshit. Anyways, what do we have here? Except the little Pamela shit. Let's go. And my warrior, like, if my warrior didn't die 2 seconds there, like, I don't know how a warrior dies that quickly, bro. He died in, like, 1 second. I could have killed the warlock and helped him with that feral. That feral does 0 damage. He died before I could even open up, like, fucking moron. He didn't fear them or do anything. Like the warrior. So where is this? Here, okay. Hello. Okay. Now, I gotta go back to Chillwind. And hopefully I can turn in my shit, right? Right? Mark of the Life. I can, yay. No, it's not finished, is it? It's not finished yet. That's a long question then. I don't see it. Then it has to be more. I think it's the Scourge Cauldrons or whatever. It's okay. Okay, I don't think there's anybody here. I'm just gonna mount up. I have my blind, so... If I had Shadow Step, I could have saved the warrior. I would have just TP'd on the feral.
You need something? Go with honor, friend.
Oh look, the NPC is gone. Let me take this quest while he's here.
What can I do for you?
The NPC is gone, so...
Light bless you. Need help? Be careful.
But now, Tower 1 marked. It's the torches, I remember. There's gonna be a lot of horde there. It's not open, it's like a pre-patch. So you have the talents and stuff. That's out. And there's currently like a honor event. So what everybody's doing right now, they boost the character if they're like new like me. And then they farm rank 14 gear in AV. Problem is, you need to be level 60 to actually buy the gear, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. Though I was pumping AV as well. I have already 9.8k honor, so I can buy, like, as soon as I'm 60, I can buy one high warlord one-handed sword. So that's gonna increase my damage exponentially. I can buy a trinket as well. Okay, so here's the first tower. I'm gonna use my perception here, and hopefully we find somebody. Maybe that stupid feral's here. I don't see him, so YOLO. Can I use it here? I can. I use it here so I don't pull the mobs in there. There we go. Tower 1 marked. Where's Tower 2? There. Or not? No, it's telling me something else now. Kill the Cauldron Lord. What about the towers, brother? Okay, I guess we just go kill the Cauldron Lord then. I'll risk it and mount up. Yeah, I think it'll be great. Like earlier against that feral, if I had trinket, I trinket out. And I destroy him. I didn't have to waste blind there. Now here, there's gonna be a lot of guys. I'm gonna stealth here immediately. I don't know why it's sending me here when I still have... I mean, we'll see. It says it's step 40, so it's after this. So this, I remember, this is like a named mob here. Level 60 is ganking people here, as you can see. There's that useless warrior from earlier. So the bile moth spawns somewhere here. How much health does he have? 4.8k. There's no way I can kill him. There's bile moth. Okay, I'm just opening up on him. I'll blind the mage if he comes. I just need this mob badly, bro. Nice. You're too late, brother. Sucks for you. It's not a mage, it's a priest, what am I saying? Okay, are we good here? We should be. Just gonna YOLO. I got lucky, he spawned right in front of me. Sometimes you gotta wait for this guy for a long time. Yeah. Gnome? Yeah. Okay, what now? Tower 2 mark. Now it's Tower 2, okay. This is going well for me, right? My perception is almost up, so we can check at the tower if somebody's waiting for me there. That's Tower 2, right? Should be. Is it? It is, okay. Can nobody hear if this guy is just doing this for free? Nice, another uncontested tower. Augers, what now? Tower 3 marked. When I was leveling warrior, I didn't die a lot here, but it was very contested by the horde. Or I would just fear them off and then click my thing. On turtle list, yeah, like WPL is crazy. Even I would say, when I was on my warrior, it was crazier than EPL for me personally. Like I don't know. But with rogue, it's obviously easier. Okay, here there might be somebody. I'm just gonna use perp now that I have it. Perception, I mean. I don't see anybody. I think it's free. But my fucking thing's on cooldown. Go fuck yourself. Right, let's wait then a little bit. $50 more. God, why is there a cooldown on a quest item? Dice. Blizzard, you all the same. Bro, pull the entire Scourge on him. Look at him. Yeah, I don't think he leashed, bro. You gotta go. Okay, he leashed now. I guess it's a prot pala. Alright, let's get this done now. It's almost here. And you can do it here, which is nice, you know. So if there's a wall inside, sometimes there's a mob, you can just LOS and pull from here. It's nice. What now? Tower 4. Got it. I cannot kill him. Look at his health. What does he do? I guess he's just ganking people. 5.4k HP. He's geared. That must be geared, right? Nearly 6k HP. What I could do is maybe pull the mobs on him. Let me try something just for fun. Okay. It'd be cool if I can like distract the mobs on him. You have to go, mate. Enjoy your play. See you later. Thank you for stopping by. Hi, Cheese. It was very nice talking to you again. I'll see you, brother. Take it easy. Have a great weekend as well. Okay, we gotta wait for a quest item, guys. Another 50 seconds. Here we go. Soon. Also, guys, for the lurkers, if you are watching on YouTube and you play retail, you care about retail, I know it's cringe, but if you do, there are drops on Twitch. Just reminding you not to miss out. So if you want to watch me on Twitch, the link is in this stream's description. It's a link tree, so you can just press on Twitch there, and you can FK farm some drops and shit if you care about that type of stuff. Okay, let's risk it here. Tower 4 marked. Okay, we need to turn stuff in now, so let's go do that. That should put me at, I think, 50%, which is gonna be nice, really nice. What's happening here, brother? Oh, I see a kill. I see a kill. I see a kill. I'll take a kill. I'll help the mobs out. Goodbye, bro. Goodbye, little brother. Goodbye, my lover. Alright, let's mount up. Fuck you. Holy fuck, this guy does damage, man. Jesus. What a pussy. He had me if he attacked me. I mean, I'm eating. Maybe he didn't. I had blind. I could have gotten away. That's right, little blood elf. Run. Run back home, little brother. I know I'm gonna get karma right now. Somebody's waiting for me here. I don't have 3k HP, bro. No. Okay, here we are.
Hey there, for the Alliance. Be careful.
What can I do for you?
Oh, I'm getting a lot of XP. Yeah, there's a shitty mage. You didn't kill me. Imagine being failing as a level 60 mage to kill a level 58 rogue. I'm dumb. Okay, I got karma finally. I blinded his ass. He trinketed it. I walked over fucking fire. Wasn't paying attention. I was uplinking so hard, the fire helped him. What a trash mage. Absolute garbage.
Light be with you.
Killer meat. Talk to Malgris Deep Depriver, okay? What's that? Or Deep River. Oh my god, they were chasing that mage a while. So where is this guy? Here. Okay. I was outplaying that mage so hard, and then I just walked over and fired on accident. And that unstealthed me. That's the only reason he got the kill. Otherwise, he failed miserably. He's a garbage player. Wait, do I need this? No, I don't need it now. It's not my step currently. I'm good for now. So what did I do? Talk to Malgris Deep River, freezing ghouls, cast flash freeze, ability stuns. Yeah, no, it puts you into an ice block or whatever. It's really annoying. I know what he means. But if I'm not mistaken, I only have to go in and speak to the NPC. I don't have to kill anything. Just vaguely remembering this quest from my warrior earlier this week. Yeah, let's go check it out. Yeah, it's just an NPC here. Kill disease wolves. Yeah, okay. How do I pull that, bro? I'm invisible. I guess he has detection. Okay, let's go kill our wolves then. If there is any anywhere. Only see the carrion lurker. Which sucks. It does say that if they don't spawn, I have to kill some of the spiders. I wanna avoid that. Who's this? Level 60 priest. My sap missed. My sap missed. Big rip. At least it doesn't unstealth me. Yo, where the fuck is the wolves at, man? The priest is gathering. I don't think he wants to fuck with me. Where are the wolves at? Dude, is there not one wolf in Western Plaguelands today? What the fuck, bro? Not one. It's just carrion lurkers. And that guy. Level 58, I think it's a fair fight. I don't know if he saw me or not. He did not. He's not full HP, but he is a mage and I don't have sprint, so I think he's actually gonna cook me. I can't do it. All he has to do is Frost Nova and I cannot chase him anymore. That's on me. And I don't have prep to reset sprint. So big Ripperonski there. But he's still in my wolves. I might have to try to kill this guy. If he novas the wolves... There's my wolf. I'm gonna open up on the wolf and send him a message. That I do not want to fight him because I don't have sprint KW. And hopefully he listens. There we go, first wolf down. Somebody was here, I guess somebody also is doing it along with the mage. What the fuck is that? Please don't spawn an elite or something, bro. Spawn the fucking elite. Yep. That's just my luck, man. I see something, it's not loot, it's not gold, it's a freaking elite, man. Of course it is. Or a boss. It's always one of those two. It's never anything different for me. There's no wolves anywhere, yeah? He also has stealth detection, that elite. Which sucks. Yeah, this might take a while. It's super contested right now. It's weekend too soon. I mean, it's Friday. Have to go make soon another coffee. I think I can fuck with it. I don't see his health for some reason, but I think I want to try to fight a warrior. Never mind, none of my abilities are ready. I fucked up my opener, but whatever. We can gouge him. We can blind him. I'm feared. He should still be dead. That's his war stomp. Bro, don't run. We're similar. Where are you running, brother? Oh, he tried. Nice try, bro. I fucked up my gouge, man. And I fucked up the entire opener KW. Still worked. It's like no wolves anywhere, man. It's crazy. If the warrior comes back, I have basically everything ready. I can kill him. My blind stopping as well. Yeah, I got everything. I don't know why my gouge didn't go off. I believed it. I felt like it did. I pressed it and I don't know what happened. He might have blocked it. He popped I think he popped was that a die by the sword, I believe? Nah, it's a grizzly. God, bro, give me a wolf. Give your boy a wolf, man. Give your boy a wolf. Shadow Priest. There's the warrior. I'm not gonna kill him twice. It's fucking like I could camp him, but why would I? Fuck him. Let him go. Let's mount up a little bit. There's a freaking wolf. With some energy. Nice. That's two. Blood of Heroes. There's no wolves here. It's just a Scarlet Crusade. So let's get the fuck out of here then. Don't want to mess with them. There are quests later, I believe. Kill some knights, medics, inquisitor, and a hunter. I think that's on step 54 it was. Maybe 60. I'm out of flesh powder. I need to buy that when next time I'm installed, otherwise I'm cooked. Let's go up here. There's a wolf. Two wolves. But there's something there, bro. It's a friendly. Okay, fuck him. I'm pulling both freaking wolves, bro. Don't even care. Popping evasion. Let me choose something with my weak aura. Just give me a moment. I feel like I need to have my ghastly strike or whatever it's called on a. So here's vanish. What if I duplicate that? And let me just find the correct spell thingy. WoW classic ghostly strike. I need like a. I need a weak aura for that because it has a cooldown. You know, it's a pretty long cooldown. So let me fix this. Let's call it then Ghostly Strike. And under low, there should be that. Let's try exact spell match. It doesn't work. Oh. Okay, let's type the name. Ah, wonderful. Okay, now the only thing I gotta do is I gotta move it somehow. So it loads that, and now we need to change the icon of it, of course. Display. Okay, text can stay. Trigger. But I'm hoping the icon's gonna change itself. Because right now it ain't changing. It just vanished. Still, kek. Action. Right, I don't see, like I said, I don't see the icon, which sucks. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me put my whole thing. Let's load it forever. Oh wait, what is this? There's some other proc there on that spot though. What is the name of that ability? Or is that evasion maybe? Like when active evasion? That shows like dodges or whatever? This thingy? Oh, that's Cloak of Shadows. I don't think I use Cloak of Shadows on this build, so whatever. But why can't I show my whole weak aura out of combat? Yeah, it's not loading it at all, bro. I'm super confused. Give me a moment. This didn't change the icon of the spell. So we have a spell here. Ghostly Strike. And let's move it a little bit. Where's Vanish? Vanish here. And this should be empty here, around here. Okay, let me go in combat because for some reason my weak aura don't work. And then I can see where it shows. If it shows double Vanish, then it's broken. Yeah, it shows double Vanish still. Why though? Is my question. At least it's in the correct position, which is good. Still shows Vanish. So now we just have to change the icon. Where was the icon change? I forgot that, brother. I really did. There. That should work now, I think. It should work now, I believe. Okay, we'll check it on the next wolf. But I think I have it, boys. Got my Ghostly Strike on it. I need to check that. Oh, that's my wolf. Two wolves again. Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna pull both of them. No, it still doesn't show Ghostly Strike. Fucking piece of shit. Okay, my Ghostly Strike is still cooked. Maybe that's gonna be enough. I'm still looking if there's another way, which is cucking my skills. No, this isn't Alpha 1? No? What about this? No. Actions. Now it shows Ghostly Strike. It should work, guys. Look at it. It should freaking work. So we have that sorted now as well. We can thank Retail that I have some knowledge in weak auras so I can, you know, fix my UI on the fly. It's good. It's good shit. I need 2 more wolves. The wolves. I have gouge. I do have gouge here as well. Okay, so I have everything I need basically. There's a wolf. Oh my god, this guy pulled everything, but there's a wolf there. I'm just gonna sprint to get to him. This guy's cooked, I think. There's another wolf here as well. I wanna pop evasion so I can tank both of them. I'm so lucky I found both of them at the same time. That's big for me, bro. Nice. Let's hit a little bit. It's really fucking nice for me, man. Oh, what now? Click the diary. Okay, we shall. We shall. No, it doesn't show Caster Strike. It's still fucked. You see? I gotta figure out why it's not showing it, man. Oh no. Fuck me. Okay, let me check again, then I can fix my weak aura in the meantime. So it's still not fucking showing it, man. Where is it? Guess the strike. Ghostly strike. It's still not showing it, man. It still shows a fucking vanish. Like, it should work, man. Fuck. I don't get it. I don't know why it's not working, man. Under display. I just don't get it, man. Maybe exact spell match? Bizarre, man. Really bizarre. Because here, you know, everything's fine here. It shows the icon, the charges, everything. Let me pull them up. I gotta see if it shows. Like, I feel like it showed earlier, and now it's not fucking showing. Let's pull this cadaver. Oh, it still shows double fucking vanish, man. I don't get it. Doesn't work. There, manual icon. I think that's why. Maybe that's why. So let me check Vanish. Wowhead, maybe is that? Hold on. Wow. Classic Ghostly Strike. Maybe I just need the spell ID in it, you know? Like a spell match and shit. Okay, let's try. Can I choose? I cannot choose. Let's try this. I think that's how you do it. On its icon. Okay, hold on. I think I have it. Hold on, give me a moment. I think I found it. I think this is its code. I really hope that works, boys. If it does, I'm gonna be absolutely impressed, you know? Okay, now it should freaking work. Let's go pick up the diary, man. Okay, I'm gonna distract the mobs actually. Maybe that works. Here. It didn't work. That's really unfortunate. Okay, time for Vanish. It still doesn't work, man. It's like, what the fuck is that? Now it shows it. Okay, I think I know what's happening. Just too many fucking mobs, man. So it showed it when it was on cooldown. So I think I know what might be cooking. Give me a moment. Oh, he's so fat. Can you fuck off, man? I'll help you, I'll help you. It's something at the triggers, I think. Or conditions. Oh, it's this motherfucking volatile infection. I can't heal, I can't do anything. That's what's unstealthy me all the time. I didn't see I have this. 51 seconds of that piece of shit. Okay, kill the wandering skeleton, loot it. Where's the wandering skeleton, bro? I think that thing was around here somewhere. I just want to go stealth so I can fix my fucking weak aura. But this fucking debuff is fucking me hard. How much of you are left? 15 seconds of that thing still. Fuck. You're not gonna accept, you fucking rat? You did, okay, thank you. Okay, so it must be somebody in the fucking triggers then. Trigger. I mean, this looks fine. Exact spell ID. It shouldn't matter. Ah, I found it. It was this. It must be this. Like, I'm gonna go fucking insane if it isn't. Let me just type the name. It should work. Let's try it. Please work. There we go. Okay, what now? Click the lock cabinet upstairs. Okay, we shall. We shall. There we go, we got it. Now we need to kill the Cauldron Lord. Malvinius. We shall. I gotta kill this guy because I need Malvinius myself. Fuck. More came, of course. I don't have Vanish. I'm willing to buy some flesh powder later in town. I thought if it's just a war, I'm gonna kill him and get myself the mob, but... It is what it is, brother. My guess attack works finally. A lot of horde here. Oh, there is this guy. What if I just kill him again? That would be fucking funny, wouldn't it? I can't. I don't have Vanish. If I had Vanish, I would have done it. I don't have flash powder. Sucks. Little pre-made. Is it a pre-made? It's not. Okay. Never mind. Bro, little baby's in a pre-made. You just have to wait for this mob now, boys. For the Cauldron key.
Let's invite him. Are you dumb? Moron, I'm trying to give you the boss. He needs to go, okay. Like have fun. Sure, bro. Bro has to go. Will spawn very soon. We might have to kill that paladin if he tries to contest our mobs. He has less HP than me and he's a paladin. KW. He bubbled. There we go. He wanted to steal our mob, bro. We got him. What do you mean I'm out of range, man? I can die. I can't click on the color, man. Legit can't do it. There. We did it. What now? Click on the not reach lumber mill crate to place a thermal barrel and then click on the thermal barrel after. Got it. I got you, bro. Or is that exactly up here? Right? Yeah, okay. We got it. We're doing it. That crate was... That's a lot of mobs, bro. Which crate was it exactly? That one. Okay, let me sap everyone. Okay, if I stab him... I don't know. I can maybe distract him. Hold on. Zap him and distract him. Didn't fucking work, man. Okay, should work now. Bye. Bye-bye. Oh, get me out of combat, man. Fucking piece of shit mobs, dude. I really need to buy vanish powder or like flesh powder when I can. There we go.
What can I do for you?
Destroy the torch. Where is my torch? Now it's Scarlet Medics and all the other mobs. Now it's everything, boys. So 2 medics, 2 hunters, 2 mages, and 2 knights. I mean, it's not that bad, I guess. Should be okay. Here's a knight. But knights are easy to find. I need medics. Oh, those are fucking aids to find. This level 60 retard. What is he doing here, dude? He looks kinda cool though. Throws a big troll. Let's check down here. I need the medics. I'm gonna kill this guy. Never mind, he has help. They always have fucking help, and always people coming from nowhere to help them. It's crazy. It's really annoying. I have to respect them. There are 2 of them. I would die. Gotta respect them, so I'm gonna wait for the next spawns. If I had a bit more gear, I would have done it. Would have just opened up on the warlock and fucking deleted him. But here is a mage I could maybe sneak before they come. Maybe I can just blind one of them. Okay, let's do this. Nice, okay. Because the mages are the one that have like 8 spawn. Knights I can always find, that's no problem. Okay, there they come. Sorry, I got your mage, bro. I guess I'll get the knight in the meantime as well. Let's get the knight as well. Because why the hell not, right? Oh, that's a big stun, bro. Right, let's take care of these guys upstairs, or one of them at least. I can sap this one, I don't want to fight two of them. And pull this guy. There we go. Give me energy, bro. Nice. Okay, those are the knights done. Oh, we need mage, hunter, and a medic. The medics are down here, I believe, right there. There must be. They got absolutely massacred by... Oh, there's something there. It's a knight. I don't need a knight anymore, man. Why is it marked for me? Don't need him. So where else can we find some of them? Maybe... No, this is skeleton fragments. So it's basically just here, like, for the most part. It goes up. Maybe up. Okay, let's mount up. We can risk being unstealthed just for a little bit. This guy is just gonna keep stealing my mages. That's what he was doing earlier. I don't know why I got unstealthed, bro, but okay. Why did I get unstealthed, man? I can't kick it. Okay, he outplayed me hard. Bro, why did I get unstealthed, man? Nothing was hitting me. Fucking lucky bastard. Fucking lucky bastard. Let's go to him. I fucked up. I didn't have enough rage to kick the drain life, otherwise I would have killed him. Yeah, I mean, I just got unstealthed by something, I don't know what. Maybe his stupid fucking pet. And I nearly killed him while I was unstealthed without an opener. It's kind of funny. No problem, I'll get him with an opener now. It's all good. Yeah, let's put some poison on our webs. It's the only poison I still have left, so let's just use that, I guess. Right, we need mages. We need one mage and then 2 medics and 2 hunters, and then we're done here. I'm gonna go upstairs here, maybe I can find something. Accept that shit so we can walk here for free. Is that this retard? I'm gonna fucking destroy him. Of course he gets help, man. They always have help, dude, no matter where I go. But this time, man, he has so much health. This guy must have gear. How does he have 5k HP, man? He's coming back. Yeah. He also has a million buffs because he's in a fucking pre-made. Yeah. So he's in a pre-made. Got it. Little baby's in a pre-made. He can't quest alone. He can't quest alone, bro. And you pussy don't wanna attack him? Like you step a guy and there's like immediately somebody showing out of nowhere to heal him, to fucking do everything, like, bro. Are they attacking this fucking guy? No. I don't need the mages. I need the hunters and the medics. Let me do something with my bindings. Key bindings. Character. Where's my character? Quick key bind one? No. Gameplay controls. Where's the key binds? Toggle LG, toggle skill panel. Yeah, where's my character panel? Yeah, there. We can do this on tab. Oh no, that's my fucking target. Oh, fuck me. Okay, let me unbind that garbage. Assign a bind. How do I clear off? Right click, okay. Now I have to go back to my fucking target. I forgot that's my targeting. Targeting. There. Got it. We're good. There's a hunter. There's a fucking hunter. Two hunters. Pulling boat. With evasion. It's still opening my fucking inventory, man. I should be good here. Okay, we run. Well, what the fuck is happening here? I don't know what's happening with my interface. Bro, changing any bindings on Blizzard UI is just so fucking cancerous, man. Get me out of combat immediately so I can change this, whatever this is now. What the fuck is this now, man? There we go. Jesus, Blizzard. I didn't press middle mouse button. And now it's not out, now it's not zooming me out. Dude, you cannot make this up, man. That's why I never mess with keybinds on Blizzards anything because it just absolutely aids, bro. Like, seriously. There we go. That should be good. Like, all I wanted to do was just check my binds and, like, immediately fucked everything. Oh, fuck you. Let's see it finally. I got the 2 hunters, so that was a big pull, so I need 1 mage and 2 medics and we're good. That's nice. That's very nice, I like that. I like it. There's a medic. There we go. Okay, so what else is left? 1 medic, 1 mage. This is retard again with his butt buddy. Pre-made. The baby Sheena pre-made. Here's a mage I need. And 1 more medic. I need to buy flesh powder if I actually want to engage people. I don't have vanish. It's fucking brutal without it, man. My sprint is not ready, wait, what? How is it not ready, man? I fucked up, I'm dead. That's a big skill issue. My sprint wasn't up. Oh, I'm bad. If my sprint was up, he dies. It's fine, we're learning. Oh my god, the horde is getting so lucky that they're making so much mistakes. My sprint was on 20-second cooldown. How though? I didn't use it, man. Wheat. Mm-hmm. Right, we have eaten. Just need one more medic and one more mage. Is that a mage? It isn't. I think they're gonna spawn here at the back. I hope. I really need to buy flesh powder. I don't have Vanish anymore. Come on, Mr. Mage, spawn up. It's just invokers left. Nobody needs invokers. They're not a quest mob, so nobody's killing them. Smart man. There. What is that? Tonight. The spawns in Classic are ruthless. Should I kill this guy? I should. Why shouldn't I? I mean, I don't have Vanish. I don't know. I don't want to gank people without Vanish. I need to buy flesh powder. And he has help. Every time you engage one horde, there's 5 others just coming behind them. You see? Even if I was to go on him, there's always some other guy here. Never any alliance. Alliance is dead. Okay, here are the hunters. You can get the hunters, man. I just want the medics. Hunter has heroism and he has a pet. Bro doesn't give a fuck. Bro, I'm just waiting for a mage to spawn or a medic, anything. Bro's farming. There. I'm just sprinting. I'm legit just sprinting. Because I just cannot let somebody have this, man. Not enough energy. I couldn't kick it, man. That's the other medic. And this piece of shit came around. Why is he doing those quests yet? Like, you're level 60. What are you doing? Fucking Mongoloid. Bro's level 60 stealing mobs here. Okay, I got one of them. No, I need a mage. Is that a mage? No, that's a medic. No, I'm good, actually. He can have this. I need a mage, bro. No clue why I'm in combat still. I didn't even pull any of those mobs. There we go. Okay, mage should spawn here somewhere, I hope. And then we're finally land. I hate this quest so much, man. Not because the horde is here, just the spawns are fucking insane, man. Scarlet Mage. Bro, I stole that medic though. I charged him. Charged him. Should I go check up top maybe? I mean, I've been here for a while. Nothing spawning. I can go check up top. Maybe there's something up top. Let's go check it up. It's just freaking Avengers, man. The Avengers, literally. It's just Horde everywhere. Alliance is dead. Hate the Alliance. Hate him. But unfortunately, I cannot go Horde because it's full. Server's full. Just wonder why there are so many level 60s everywhere, man. Like, level 60s Horde doing quests. Like, what, bro? It makes no sense. Oh, look at this guy, level 60 is questing. What? Like, what? Are these people retarded? Like, on the Horde? Like, they literally are retarded, aren't they? Level 60 is questing. Maybe for gold, but like, bro. Like, you're a mage, and there's better ways to make gold, surely. Somebody killed my mage. Shitty warlock. Just waiting for the mage, guys. Legit nothing else to do. We can fix Nightbot in the meantime. This is bad by up spamming shit for a while now. Commands. Or is that on YouTube? No, he's spamming from YouTube, right? Just editing my Nightbot command, guys, while we're waiting for the mage to spawn. Okay, Nightbot should be updated now, guys, so he's not gonna spam all the old shit anymore, I hope. They should be updated finally, to be nicer a bit. Come on, stupid mage, spawn already. It should spawn right here. Right here. This is insane, man. It just doesn't spawn. Hopefully they don't, hopefully I'm not somehow blocking the freaking spawn, man. That'd be really annoying. Okay, I'm gonna go look upstairs. I mean, I've been here for about 15 minutes waiting for this fucking spawn, man. There's the mage. Oh my god, finally. Oh, thank the lords, man. We did it, boys. Let's move on. Holy fuck, that took a long time. I got a green I can sell later, maybe, for some gold.
Well met.
We gotta kill the huntsman. Let's heal up a little bit. Also got this stuff. It's trash, but whatever. Yeah, next time I'm at Chillwind Camp, I'm gonna have to buy flesh powder. Hopefully somebody sells it there. And some food. Bro, are you kidding me? There we go. Okay, let's see if the huntsman's there, bro. He could be. He's not. There's a lot of so, okay, so here's some mages, man. Next time I'm gonna level something, I know there's some mages here. I didn't know. Because I was here earlier, there was none. It was just a huntsman, so it's good to know, I guess. There's a huntsman. Fuck me. I should be okay here. Nice, I did it. Wow, you're so good. Level 6 is ganking a level 58 road. What a strong player. It's fine. I got the thing he didn't. Fuck him. If I had Vanish, I live, but I don't. It's fine. We got the huntsman. Now we need to kill this guy. So we're progressing nicely. There we go. Let's go next. Let's also eat a little bit. I have some baked salmon here. We can eat that shit. Spoilers can be here. Okay, I'm gonna finally get this Mark of the Lightbringer. Is this level 60 retard? That I cannot kill him without Vanish. But here's my Mark of the Lightbringer right here. I have to wait for this guy. Okay, this is done, which is amazing. Let's wait for a spawn here. There he is. Let's cook this fucking guy. Fuck. To who do I have to talk to? I thought this bitch again, okay. I wanna kill this retard for what he did earlier to me. There you go, piece of shit. You remember he killed me earlier? Piece of garbage. Earlier he killed me, so now I cooked him. Goodbye. Mark, mark, mark. Yeah, karma's a bitch, man. It is a bitch.
Can I help you?
Ascend the Heartland Tower. Okay. We shall do that, bro. If I can ever get there somehow. Through the mountains. I doubt it. No, I cannot. I'm gonna go on the road. Fuck it. I know the shaman is mad now, but I'm invisible, so good luck to him. We're chilling. He's gonna walk to the tower, brother. Actually, I can just mount up. I mean, I can see him. He's a shaman. He's not invisible. He waves a hearty hello. Oh, little baby still dead. Little shaman still dead. 60 shaman losing to a 58 rogue. Here's Heartland Tower. Hopefully these mobs don't have stealth detection. Those ones though. I don't think I can survive that jump, even as rogue. I can survive this one. Actually, maybe I could have. I don't know. Okay, what now? Again, next to this. Again, back to that woman. Let's try to mount up.
Hey there.
Okay, time to finally return to Chillwind, boys. If I turn everything in there, and if also the guy is back where I have Mark of the Lightbringer, I think I'll level up, which is big pog. It's gonna be a long way to Chillwind though. Here we are soon. I really hope that guy's there so I can turn in. Oh shit, bro got goinked. Bro got gonked. He might be here. That'd be really big. No, he's not here. They killed him.
Need help? Light bless you.
Light be with you. Go with honor, friend.
Let me ask for an invite. Maybe we can switch layers and shit. You're not inviting me, bro. Okay, I don't think this guy's spawning, and I think I'm gonna call it here for now, guys. Let me just turn in this quest here.
Well met. For the Alliance.
Gonna call it here for now, boys. I might be back later, but most likely tomorrow for another stream. And hope you had fun. If you did, then consider following me. And I'll see you boys in the next stream. Take it easy. Bye bye and see ya.